Good morning, everyone. Morning. If you like, please chant along with me. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Avir Maeti Rudra Yatte Dakshinam Mukham Tenamam Pahinityam Tenamam Pahinityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. O Lord, light us through and through, and ever protect us with thy loving presence. Om, peace, peace, peace to all beings everywhere. Welcome everyone today. Today we have our Swami Sarvadevananda Maharaj, who's head of our Vedanta Society of Southern California. And today he'll be speaking on the topic of the Ramakrishna Order and its inspiration.
Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasarupine avatara varishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Our salutation to Sri Ramakrishna and the leader of the God, Lord of the world and the guide of the world. Om peace, peace, peace. So today our topic is Ramakrishna Order, its inspiration. Mainly what I wanted to discuss here is that the Ramakrishna Order or spiritual orders are all established on the ground of an ideal person who appeared, and beautiful song matches with that idea. And that idea is the sum total of all ideas of spirituality, that is renunciation. And with that renunciation, tremendous renunciation, they lived the life, and that inspiration brought the followers of them, those who are dedicated to that great cause of loving God intensely and automatically detaching from the world, two sides of the same coin. And these great organizations have been built up. So this Ramakrishna organization or order, as you see today, it has its deep connection. In its inspiration is the renunciation. Sri Ramakrishna is the inspiration. Mainly we say Ramakrishna is the inspiration. But also we find that it is the universal principle of renunciation is the inspiration. We can connect with the 24th of December story, where we find that after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, these boys, Swami Vivekananda and others, were overwhelmed or totally submerged into the spirit of renunciation, and they were thinking what to do, what's the goal of life, already fixed, but how to live the life. They have no idea of building up this organization, but there came an inspiration. A whole night they are doing the Dhuni fire and sitting around that, they're talking about the Swami Vivekananda started inspirationally out of the blue talking about renunciation, renunciation, renunciation. And that renunciation and not knowing that they're talking about Christ. And Swami Vivekananda mentioned Christ and his renunciation. And that renunciation, we are also born not to go back to our normal life, but we are here to dedicate our life for this cause of self-realization and for the good of the world. What a big connection. And inspiration is not the person here, but the inspiration is the renunciation aspect. So we find that this, if we can analyze that all the world religions which has made contribution to the human history as the source of peace, that is behind is the renunciation. Individual life also, as also the life of the country or nation, this renunciation is the foundation of everything. So Sri Ramakrishna, first of all, in the beginning of this order, we go back to Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda described Ramakrishna as Tagir Tag Samrat, is the emperor or is the king of all renunciates. The history has never seen renunciation to such a degree. Renunciation means, we get afraid with the word renunciation, to give up. But giving up what? Giving up the temporary thing and accepting what is eternal. That is not giving up. What is called really giving up? When you lose something. But it is not losing. It is for gaining, giving up the what is lower and what is higher to accept. So renunciation is this aspect you have to understand. It is one way, detaching from this apparent world and worldly thoughts and ideas and turning the face towards the divine, which has a tremendous pull in it, tremendous attraction for it, tremendous love for God, is called renunciation. Tremendous, such a profound love which makes the whole world disappear or have any foundation of their attraction at all, loses all attraction from a person. That is called the renunciation. So it is not giving up, but it is accepting our divine spiritual nature. So Sri Ramakrishna stood for that, and world never has seen such renunciation. That to think of worldliness, that will burn him, his heart will be burning. People of worldly minded thoughts day and night talking there. He could not tolerate that. He's always mad, that's why he's called a crazy guy, who devoted himself for God and God intoxication. And such in depth of renunciation that he could not touch coin, he could not even in touch where there is connection with a little lie or little falsity. This lie, falsity, this attachment, aversion, they all remain in the level of the worldly and worldliness. So this Ramakrishna order, as we are all devotees and monks of the same order, our inspiration is this renunciation. And this renunciation is the play behind all the spiritual ideals of all great organization, as I have said. Say, Buddha was born, Buddhism came, no? Centering around Buddha. Who is Buddha? If you go to the inspiration, it is all giving up the apparent world and its momentariness and in search of something which they call Shunna, whatever may be, but a place where there is no rebirth, there is no suffering, no pain. Go beyond suffering. Buddha started that way, and his whole band of monastic tradition came, Buddhism. India was from the very beginning, we look at the whole history of India, thousands and thousands of years ago, wandering monks, giving up everything and running for knowing the truth. That is Swami Vivekananda, that's why he says the national ideal of India is twin ideal, renunciation and service. And that is the foundation of Ramakrishna Order, renunciation and service. Renounce the mundane, love God and serve God. This is one aspect, theory, another aspect, application. That is the inspiration, but it came uniquely with the Ramakrishna's life and message and his living. We find that Shankara, Buddha, after Buddha, Shankara came. And Shankara traditional organization came, they're all focused on this detachment and loving the truth, the supreme truth to find out. We find Sri Chaitanya, the Bhakti school, that is only love for God and tremendous love for God and all attraction for the world as if annihilated from the heart of Sri Chaitanya. Christ, of course, is the example here who stands for tremendous, as the tremendous renunciation, going from door to door to find the truth and preaching the message of that detachment. So we find that in the Indian tradition, in the Upanishads, we find that the Upanishad says, Kaivalya Upanishad, Tyagena eko amritatta manasuhu. Tyagena eka, only by this detachment, this tremendous renunciation, one can attain amritatta, the immortality. The immortality can be gained. But is there not this attempt to find the immortality? Is a search of every being. And when God incarnates, he incarnates as the embodiment of this renunciation, embodiment of this tremendous detachment, embodiment of tremendous acceptance of the divine, and they move and walk and behave totally maddened in the spirit of this attraction for God or renunciation. So we find that Upanishad is inspiring this ideology that only if you want immortality, you go back to this detachment, absolute detachment. Tyagena eka, only, alone, renunciation alone can bring you immortality. But that is again, in the Gita we find that Tyagat Shanti Anantaram. You go to Bhagavad Gita, it says, you want Shanti, peace in your home, in your personal life, in your society life, in the country, in the continent, Tyaga. All the fight, looking from the micro to macro area, all attachment, me, mine, my idea, my position, my idea, my land, my country, my philosophy, my religion. See, the whole conflict in the entire universe is running around that. So, and Ramakrishna said, this I should dead, go away, I should die. Ami mole, if I dies, guchibe janjal, all this rubbish. That means one can attain immortality, not in individual life, in society's life, in family life, everywhere. You want shanti, peace, then tyagat shantihi. Shanti can come only by tyaga. Tyaktva lokangsya vedangsya vishayan indriyani cha atmani evo sthito jastu shajati paramam gating. Narada Pancharatra Upanishad, it talks about Taktva Lokangsya, detaching from this world and worldliness of this plane and higher plane after death. Vedangsya, even the Vedic injunctions, which tells do this and don't do this. This is good, one step, beginning stage. Do and don't do. Don't do bad thing, do good thing. Do involve yourself in prayer, puja, etc., etc. That's the one step. But then, attaining that, where will you go? Doing good, where will you go? You go to heaven. But that is not so good. Get out of that. And then you reach that point beyond good and bad, that absolute level. So, taktva lokangsya, renouncing or detaching from the different planes of existence of your due to attain due to action, good activities, or spiritual activities, Vedic injunctions, do this havanam or do this, and we call selfless activity charitable activity rather than selfish activity. So that you attain to that lokam, you renounce that also. And the Vedants, even the Vedas, injunctions of the Vedas are for people who want something in the world, but who goes beyond that, I don't want anything. So Vedas have no control over them. The scripture has no control over them. Vishayan, of course, the sense objects and the senses, etc. What then we have to do? Atmani evasthito jastu, who is established in his Atman, the self, the pure, absolute nature, and that person only goes Paramam Gutim, the supreme place or supreme abode is achievable by that person. So we find that it is in the Indian spiritual traditions, in all the scriptures, it is replete with this idea. Where is peace? Where is happiness? Where is eternal joy? What is our real, unchanging, stable self? And that is not in going into the attachment to this the world of duality, but to renounce that idea and to go beyond. It's called Isha Vashyam Idagam Sarvam. You cover it everything with divine. That means your attention should go to the divine. Teno tyakteno bhunjita. Now you detach from that which attracts you and keeps you into the limited bondage of the apparent universe and its gain and loss and pain and suffering and joys and of all these dualities. You want to get out of that. So that idea is to go beyond this duality. But that is why, who will guide us? That's why incarnations come and they set an organization. They don't set organization like going to create a 501c3 organization as we do. But they go by their life and pure souls come around them. And that is the way, say, this Ramakrishna Order has been established. Buddhism also established how? Because looking at Buddha's life, Buddha's extraordinary renunciation, extraordinary peace he attained, and living that, people gave up their kingdom. People gave their wealth, prosperity, and followed Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dharmang Saranang Gacchami. I follow his principles. And then they became a Sangha. Organization was built by the force of renunciation. So this is the point, that Tajo Dharmam, Adharmam cha, Ubhe Sattva Anrito Tajo, Ubhe Sattva Anrito Taktva Jeno Tajasi Tattajo. This is also another Upanishad, very not common. It is Tajo Dharmam, so-called righteousness, and Adharma, which is unrighteousness, and say what is good and what is bad. Tajo them, give up them. And who giving up all this duality? Give up that by power of which you have renouncing everything. That means you go back to that state which is beyond speech, beyond your expression, beyond your understanding, beyond body, beyond mind, beyond emotion, beyond understanding. So this is the goal of human life, and how we ordinary people can attain that goal. That's why these great incarnations come and they set this order. Renunciation is an abstract thing. We talk about that. Can you catch renunciation like this in your palm? No. But yes, you can catch renunciation when you look at Ramakrishna, when you look at Buddha. They are as if the concentrated absolute idea of renunciation concretized in the life and body of Ramakrishna, Christ, Buddhas, and Ramakrishnas like that. No? So this is the point. We can catch this renunciation to their life and to their teachings. So for the good of humanity, when these great incarnations come, the renunciation is the core point. And without, you see, who are leading the whole world for thousands of years? It is the people of renunciation only. Who we remember? How many kings and emperors came? How many kingdom came and went away? Whom you remember? You remember Christ, you remember Buddhas. They are remembered, but unless you read history and you are a very adept in history, you can tell the names and other things of the great kings who have conquered countries after countries and destroyed civilization. No? So it is renunciation which ultimately is dominates in the whole universe. The whole universe is renouncing, that nature is renouncing. Every person is mother renouncing for the renouncing her own comforts for the child. The society, good people renounce their personal all enjoyment, money, wealth, etc. for the good of others. So that is the point, renunciation. But how we shall be led, that's why this organization came. Christ, Buddha, Sri Chaitanya, they are the embodiment or embodied form of renunciation. And this Sanatana Dharma teaches the way to perfection, peace and freedom, following the path of renunciation only. All religions are established by some extraordinary people of renunciation, as you have just mentioned. Following the footsteps of this incarnation, a band of people get attracted, pure soul. Ramakrishna, you see, beyond this Ramakrishna order, we find Ramakrishna has realized God in his whatever, maybe many different ways and things. And we see Ramakrishna is crying, going to the rooftop, then music tower in the evening, and crying, "Come, come, come. I cannot live without you people." Who he is crying for? Crying for some souls who are pure in heart. So Christ also said, "Come unto me all that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Sri Ramakrishna is crying the same way, "Come, come, come." And who will be responding to that? Second condition, all that labor, who are burdened in life's journey, working hard in the world to make money, to make position, to make competition and all these things, and exhausting themselves and finding a total frustration. They are the people who can come. Because they can come means the call will be appealing to the mind. And we are here, that same call, the same call what Christ gave, what Ramakrishna gave, "Come, come, come. I cannot bear with this worldly minded people talking about the day and night of the worldly thoughts. I want something to get a friendship with people who can catch this message, who are pure in soul." Pure in soul means, he says, these boys, I love these boys. Why? Because the worldliness was not entered into their mind. Their mind is pure still. Pure means it is unattached to the world and worldliness. That means it is ready. And if they get the proper inspiration, they can flourish and they can have their God realization in their life. So this is the way, the call, that is the person to come who feel this life is full of burden, of suffering and pain. Buddhas also did the same thing. Who ran after Buddha? All suffering, dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. So where is the peace? And that peace can be found by introspection, by analysis or whatever. But he lived that life and people gathered around him and Buddha. In Christ also you see, the fishers of men, and they become the fishers of men. Fishers actually become the fishers of men. That I will make you the fishers of men. No? So what they did, they were engaged in the world and then pulled them. Their pure soul, they can come out. Ramakrishna, they all this cry, one after another, these young boys started coming to him after this call, then who is not interested in this, only engaging themselves in eating, sleeping and dying. So they gathered around, and I will give you rest, as Christ said. Ramakrishna give them rest. Naren came. He was searching for what? He didn't come to Ramakrishna for money or miracle or give me some touch of this and that will solve my other problems. He came to Ramakrishna, have you seen God? This is the renunciation. Have you seen God? And that is his call. And that I shall give you rest. He said, yes, I seen. I can give you. And then give the touch and get the glimpse. The receptacle is ready to accept that truth. And then similar, one by one, the young boys started coming to Ramakrishna. And when one is coming, then he said, oh, mother has shown me here. I saw him in this mystic vision, no? See, about Ramakrishna talking about Naren. I saw my mind went up in a higher plane and higher plane, and then entered into a realm where gods and goddesses are on both sides of my journey, and then reached a place where there is no form at all. And in that formless aspect, the seven sages are meditating as if, and they're steeped in there. And then he called him to come back. I saw him in the mystic vision. He's this guy. And then Rakhal came. Oh, I saw him. Rakhal is a boy. Oh, I saw him dancing with Krishna. See, he's collecting these guys who are perfectly pure, already in mystic vision, and saying, oh, mother showed me in vision. Baburam coming, Sarvadevananda Swami coming, Ramakrishna Naminda Swami. He said, oh, I saw them in my mystic vision with Christ. They came with Christ. They came with this. And these pure souls are called not by microphone and announcing through internet or anything. See, he only cried silently in the roof of the Dakshineshwar temple, and these guys are all pulled one by one. We are here also for what? We are also pulled by that call. This call is a very subtle call. It goes when the vibration goes on, no? Which are ready, they can catch it. And they feel the inspiration. So this following this idea of the same appeal, they have come to the earth to give us peace. But he himself, the embodiment of renunciation, the perfect union of all detachment, has been in the body of these great souls, Christ, Buddhas, Ramas, Krishnas. And we are talking about Ramakrishna Order. This Ramakrishna came again, and that embodiment, they collected, some people collected around them. And look at that, how many people came to visit Ramakrishna when Keshav Sen wrote about Ramakrishna. So the whole Calcutta was to see Ramakrishna. What is this Paramahansa? What is Paramahansa? Even like we go to see in the zoo some animal, probably they have idea, oh, Paramahansa, something maybe unusual, no? So let me, how the Paramahansa looks. So they used to come and see, and then sorry, he's a human being. Some people come and most of them left. But out of that started something, few people gathered, and they're attracted, pure soul, pure tagger. Those who are ready of detachment and love for God more, found the source that I shall, as Christ said, come on, all that labor, those who are tired of seeing the world in the way we live, they're tired of that and are feeling the life is a burden. I'll have to free from this burden of ignorance, this troubled life of duality, this crying and weeping and sleeping and dying. I will have to get out of this. which is becomes a burden on them. So then they come to Ramakrishna, or they come to Christ, come to Buddha, and they started God's touch, renunciation. See, everyone is ignited with the fire of renunciation. And we, the whole history of Sri Ramakrishna's life, and then suddenly he got cancer, no? And cancer, many people said, oh, God, he is God, he is Paramahamsa, and he has cancer. Can he not cure? As Christ said, oh, you are God, you cannot save yourself from this ordeal of crucifixion. What type of God? So the people leave them because they don't show miracle. But of course, Christ showed so many miracles later on. But this is the greatest miracle, that they can ignore the whole world. And this cancer, centering around cancer, those people who are outward periphery, they are not heavily laden in the burden of life. They are not tired of seeing the world as meaningless and not pure in heart. So they left Ramakrishna. They left Ramakrishna. But few who are pure in heart, they started gathering around Ramakrishna, Naren, Rakhal. They, one by one, stopped going to school, stopped visiting their household connection, and then gathered around and to serve Ramakrishna. They fell in love. God is love. How do we understand? Love is so tremendous. The love for mother, their parents, their brother, their sister, their home, attachment, attraction for other things, all become insipid, all meaningless. Then they gathered around Ramakrishna. And what is Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna has money? He has wealth? He has anything to worldly? No. Most poor guy in the materialistic way, and ignorant person, didn't go to school even. So, but see, all are getting attracted, and day and night they fall in love with Ramakrishna. That means, see how pure-hearted soul, they go and see the ideal of renunciation and fall in love with that. And that love intensified. Then Ramakrishna at the end, said that, called Naren and said, you are, see, and he touched. He asked him to touch, and he touched Naren, and then Naren went into deep ecstatic mood. And when he came down, he saw that Ramakrishna is with the tears in the eyes. Then he said, why are you crying? Ramakrishna said, whatever spiritual wisdom I have, all I have poured into you, and I have become penniless beggar. As he is just saying, all my spiritual austerities and practices, but you will do good to the world with this power. And last time he said, you are the most intelligent among all the boys. You take care of all the boys when I am no more be there. And Vivekananda became the leader that way. And those boys, and keep them together. Ramakrishna's instruction was Sangha, how the order is created there. Centering on Ramakrishna in the Kashipur garden house. All these boys collected together. That's the monastics and non-monastics. Girish, Master Mosai, Balaram Bose. They're extraordinary people, they're householders. But they supported this entire gathering together. They used to come and inquire about Ramakrishna's, how he is doing and what is needed, financial support and other things. So these are the devotees and monastics, not organization created then. But this is the organization started here, centering around Ramakrishna, the embodiment of renunciation and detachment, absorbed in God consciousness all the time, staying all the time in ecstatic bliss. That Ramakrishna entered into them totally. And that organization, Ramakrishna passed away as if everything is lost. They all went back home. But you see, again, Ramakrishna order started there. Ramakrishna came into the vision of Naren, vision of Suren Mitra. So he financed, and Ramakrishna called them together, again gathered around and started the monastery, Baranagar Monastery and others. And after starting in Baranagar Monastery, once he was invited by Balaram Bose's Baburam Premananda Swami's mother. So invited them in the village to have some rest and good food, because they are not eating here in Baranagar Monastery. They don't get, but they are already joined together, not for making a Ramakrishna order, but for self-realization, God realization for themselves, totally focused. And then they went to Atpur, where they have the 24th of December incident, and they are doing austerities, and Baburam's mother was feeding the boys, young boys, lovingly. And they forgot about everything. They only go, eat sometime, but most of the time they talk with inspiration of Swami Vivekananda. The inspirational talk about life, spirituality, and how to deepen in it, and how to dive deep into samadhi, all this day and night. And then one night, they don't know that is 24th of December. They collected some firewood from nearby pond, and they dried it and then put it into the homo fire night time, and they started meditated long time, putting the homo fire and all circling around that fire, started their meditation. And Swami Vivekananda started, after meditation, talked about, highly inspired, and talking about Christ and his renunciation, and his disciples, early disciples of Christ, how they are centered around God, and how they did, and say, we are also born to do something. We cannot go back. And he told Christ's life from beginning to the crucifixion, birth to crucifixion. And in every point, he pointed out Christ's life is an embodiment of renunciation and renunciation and renunciation. And the fire of renunciation was ignited in them in such a way that they all took a resolution that we will never go back home. Let us take a resolution. We will realize God in this life and be together to just the goal of life to achieve, accomplish, but not going back again. This monastic life I will have. That means monastic life means the detached mind. That is the monastic life. Householder people means you are there. You are also monastic when your heart is thinking of God. That's the monastic life, no? And I am here in the monastic life. If I don't think of God, I am not monastic. So the spirit is the renunciation, is the spirit, and where is more manifested. And then everyone took that vows. That's why 24th December has so much connection. And when next morning came, and they could understand, oh, it was the Christmas day. And see the inspiration. Kami, yeah? How many 2,000 years before this announcement was there, no? And then again, in the form of Ramakrishna, he came. Again, he inspired on the day of 24th December. See how we can link all these things together. Huh? God's play goes on. Huh? The same principle, the same renunciation ideal to inject into the society for the good of the world. The same power acts again and again. So this is the way Ramakrishna Order started, and then went back. And then they took the sannyas and vows and everything. And then after returning from here, Swami Vivekananda in 1897, he created the Ramakrishna Order, officially Ramakrishna Order of Monks. No, but the principle is that with twin purpose, as we see in the Christ has given the beautiful, according to Matthew, the first point we find that Christ is calling everyone, Ramakrishna is calling everyone, and for what? To renounce, to serve. Two things. To renounce and to serve. The monastic order, see, anyone joins in our order, what they do? He give up all connection with home, their personal account, money. If you have property, just give it to your mom, dad, brother, sister, finish. You are a beggar, come as a beggar. And then what do? You realize God and try to serve. So here also said that Christ said that you come who are all that labor and are heavy laden, and will give you the rest. And then what will you do? How I will give? take my yoke upon you, take my principle, take my load, what I am born for, giving freedom to the others. Dedicate yourself for that cause. Take this load of serving others, doing good to others, seeing God in others and serve others. This ideal. And learn of me, for I am meek and lowly. But to serve, how will you serve? I'm a boss, I'm giving you charity. No. Meek, be meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. And you, if you follow my path, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Worldly burden is really heavy. When we can give up our ego at the feet of the Lord, you see, that time the burden goes away. So he's asking that you come unto me, lead this life of total dedication. And that's the early Christian monasteries where the early days of history, that their austerity, their dedication is limitless, no? And their compassion flourishing together. And this Ramakrishna order, you look at them, same way it is continued. Ramakrishna passed away, Baranagar Monastery, they have no home, they have nothing to eat, fasting, but steeped in tremendous spiritual practice and renunciation. And then wandering around the whole India, everyone is running here and there. But Soshi Maharaj is holding the fort in Baranagar Monastery, to Alambazar Monastery, to Nilambar Babu's Monastery, to Belur Math, present state. So this is the way the monastery moved and moved and moved. Though the monks are so much deep in their spiritual quest, they ran into the forest and into Himalayas, into the holy places of pilgrimage. But again, Swamiji brought them together. And then we find this application of this principle, that Atmana Moksha and Jagat Hita. First principle should be, you get free, you become free, then you can make free others. You becoming in ignorance, you cannot show light to others. That's why it is a simultaneous journey for one's own improvement and for the improvement of the society. A holy man lives anywhere, really genuinely holy person. He may not have money, but his presence will benefit the people around. His own life will give inspiration to others, how to live in the life of how to attain peace, how to attain joy. No? So this is the simple formula, that this direction, God's work, it is Lord's work. So Ramakrishna Order then is working till today. Its inspiration, as I said, it is the renunciation. And this renunciation is not ended with Ramakrishna. You see, it is ended with Ramakrishna. He came for establishing that renunciation percolate through the society. And first should be some holy, great receptors. They receive that energy, like Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Shivananda, and total charged with spirituality. And they have disseminated into the society. And then future generation, thousands of monks have come and gathered. Who are monks? Think of that. What a great moment in life of everyone. The moment, we may not be ideal, but we are struggling to be. But some may be more, some may less. But this Sri Ramakrishna's order is helping us to renounce the attachment. And when they come, look at the moment. A boy or a girl is joining in the monastery, Ramakrishna Order. Just think of the mental condition of that person. Money, wealth, sense experience, sense enjoyment, cry, tears of the sisters and brothers, mom crying, everything becomes secondary. How they come? They're brutes. They're the most loving person in the society, in their home. You inquire every sadhu, every monk, go their home and inquire about their mom or dad or brother. He's the best element of the family. And maybe he's a rich person, There is nobody to enjoy his property, his mom's, dad's, so much property. But call for God came. That pure moment. So that is called the renunciation. And see, exactly that is the thing. When that boy or girl becoming in the Ramakrishna Order of Sarvadevananda, the same. So when they're coming to join, that particular state of mind, where the whole world is meaningless, only God, nothing else. That is the purest state of the each person's life. And what spiritual life we are trying to do, to keep that state, to keep that spirit back to that same level. But it comes down, as we happen after a few days. We forget those things and we go it. Even we are doing service to God, we think that I did so much big job, no? I donated this, or I did this, I helped this, I ran this school, I built up this house, I built up this temple. May come, but again coming down and to push it up again into the same level of, see, that is the Ramakrishna order, is actually its renunciation. Christianity fell down, fall of Christianity, when this bhav of poverty, bhav of renunciation, and that was some way compromised because of the acceptance of the kings and rich, and then little by little non-renunciation crept in. Buddhism, look at that. It entered into it, and gradually came the decadence. So this is the growth and development of each spiritual organization. Ramakrishna Order is just the other day, the tremendous power which has been generated in Ramakrishna's life has been put into Swami Vivekananda and Brahmananda and his disciples. And that spiritual energy continuing till today, thousands and thousands of boys and girls are getting inspired to lead this life of renunciation and detachment and trying to be free from all bondage. It is a song of freedom. Renunciation is song of freedom. No entanglement. Nothing can bind us. Read the Swami Vivekananda's Song of the Sannyasi. Everything is inspiring to be free. No bondage. Because I have no attachment. If there is no attachment, where is bondage? So this Ramakrishna order stands for this great ideal, but at the root of all these movement, all this school activity, why school? Why college? Why university? Why hospitals? Why dispensaries? What type of monastic life is this? Yes, bringing back that inspiration of renunciation down to practical life. If God is everywhere, see God and serve. How many hospitals are there in the world? So many, thousands and thousands and thousands. In Ramakrishna order, you go to Benares, early days of Benares, that hospital started. Who are the doctors are very limited. There are no trained nurses. Who serve them? These brahmacharis. These sadhus who have matured there, or they took their job of serving the center, no? And then what they did? They took up the work of the doctor or nursing, and they saw God in them. You have heard the story of Ban Baba, Ban Bihari Maharaj. He was a monk. He used to do the nursing job and dressing, very deep wounds and other things which others will not touch. It was his job. And then he, by doing this, serving these patients day and night, he saw Divine Mother. Experience of life came. And he has considered almost a embodiment of Shiva's descendant, as it were. Renunciation in personal life and applying that renunciation in day-to-day life. Atma Mukti, Jagat Hita. It should bring good to the world. If my renunciation is mine, what makes this different? Any selfish person can be, of course, there is a higher values of renunciation if they are not engaged in social work or so-called activity, because their presence helps others in mental level, in spiritual level. But from the Swami, what is that? Swami Sridharananda, he gave this example, no? Suppose a monk has come in a village, and because monk has come, everyone is coming, but monk does not speak to anybody. Yeah? They sit, and monks remains calm and quiet. He is renunciate. He is an ideal person. I said, this is one example. Second example, another monk came. He talks and inquires about, hello, how are you? What is your family condition? What is going on? Oh, my son is like that. My daughter is like that. Oh, acha. Feel some sympathy. Spiritual energy is the same, subtle way, but gross way. When some expression comes, someone is sympathetic to you, then how you feel? And now, third monk came. He not only inquires, hello, how are you? He goes to the house. There is somebody is ill, he tries to serve, to take care of that. Whom you like out of these three monks? Naturally, the third one, no? So see, that means to apply in life, not only, yes, you are great, but your life should be. So we are responsible for this dual duty, self-realization, and that much, as we move towards that, it is detachment to the world, it's love for God manifesting more and more. More we are taking the spirit of renunciation, for which the Ramakrishna Order, for which the Christianity, for which Buddhism, for which all the spiritual ideals of Chaitanya and everything. See, all renunciate. Buddha did not realize as king, but he realized when he is a beggar, giving up everything. And then he didn't sit for that. He spread that message to the whole India. How many times he went around all walking and preaching. Shankaracharya came. Ideal of traditional detachment and preaching the Vedantic principle for all that life. So this renunciation is the core. We are all fortunate that we came to a tangible organization which is called Ramakrishna Order, whose inspiration is Christ's inspiration, the inspiration of eternal message of India, tago, tage noikam mritattamanusu. And we are practicing that, and to apply that in a day-to-day life, in your home front, your husband, wife, children, or whatever is there, to apply that principle of renunciation. Serve anyone, don't expect anything. That is called detachment. I serve you, then I expect you will give me thanks. I did it 2 days, I talked to you with sympathy, but you ignored me. So, what is giving? What your sympathetic word? With some expectation to get something. That is our normal life. But this order teaches us, no expectation. You do your duty, hands off. You serve God. You are fortunate that you could serve God. And then renunciation grows and grows and grows. And the ultimately unfoldment of that will lead us to the experience of the divine. So this is the origin and inspiration, as I thought. There are many aspects, but I thought this may be one of the aspects we can think about and apply it in our life. So I will then end. I can announce. I can end, conclude. Om Madhura Sarala Vakkoi Ishatattam Prakasho Kushagata Porisheshopi Ishaputro Amritoja Tamatishayam Pavitram Merijang Lokabandham Parama Prema Murting Dinanatham Bhajama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow down to Christ, who gave the message of the truth of God in a very simple and sweet words and language, who is immortal, though crucified, who is purity incarnate, who is the Son of Mary, friend of the lowly, and Lord of the universe, and love personified. We salute him again and again. Peace, peace, peace be unto us all.